Now, a Julia Gillard government would set a 4-year deadline for the states to fit pokies with devices that limit losses. The Prime Minister has pledged to tackle problem gambling in exchange for the support of Independent MP Andrew Wilkie. Our reporter Tony Nichols has been asking residents of Melbourne what they think of the pokies deal. We'll have a listen.
I don't personally bet, but I believe that people have the right to do what they like, but I agree with the cut in the pokies because there's too many.
I think they should get rid of them altogether. I just think people waste their money on them.
If people want to spend their money on pokies, I think Julia Gillard should focus on other matters.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I think it's fantastic, especially around these areas here. There's a lot of gambling problems and issues, and I think that affects family and friends.
I think it's very good. I think that they should cut the pokies down as much as they can. People are losing too much money.
I think rather than restricting people from attending pokies, they should restrict the licences as well, so that should potentially reduce people attending those venues.
Now, pubs and clubs have reacted angrily to Labor's proposed changes to poker machine laws.
The Executive Director of Clubs Australia, Anthony Ball, joins us now from Sydney. Anthony Ball, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, the pubs and clubs are actually suggesting this morning that what Julia Gillard has agreed to with the independent Andrew Wilkie is actually a breach of an agreement the government has made with the association to negotiate before any changes are made. Is that your understanding?
That is. Look, this is a shocking deal done behind closed doors for a single vote in the House of Representatives. Julia Gillard actually announced a very effective and responsible approach to problem gambling about 4 weeks ago, and she put it in writing to us, and we expected her to meet that commitment, but obviously political expediency gets in the way, and for Mr Wilkie's vote we now have a different approach, an approach that really treats all gamblers as problem gamblers. What is being created here is effectively a licence to play a poker machine. Now, that doesn't exist in any other form of activity in Australia that's recreation, and for us that is a step too far.
Well, it doesn't treat all gamblers the same. There are problem gamblers who will have that pre-imposed condition, the preconditions put on how they gamble, and then of course there's the limits to withdrawals that can be made on ATMs inside gambling venues. You'd find very few Australians who had objections to that, wouldn't you?
By the time this is rolled out, every single player of a poker machine will need to register and obtain a card. And the point that I make is that problem gamblers should not be encouraged to gamble at all. They shouldn't be told that, well, if you set a limit, it's okay to come into the club. Problem gamblers should be identified, kept out of gambling venues, clubs, pubs and casinos, and put into counselling, get into the safety net so that their lives can be turned around. It's the wrong approach. As far as the daily withdrawal limit from ATMs go, we know, and even the Productivity Commission knew, that the link to helping problem gambling is tenuous. They just don't know whether it's going to have any impact at all. But what I can tell you is that in the suburbs and towns all over Australia where the club is the only place to go, in some parts of town the only safe place to go, there is going to be a huge inconvenience to the 10 million members of clubs.
And do you plan now then to start some sort of campaign against what's been announced as an arrangement between Andrew Wilkie and Julia Gillard's potential new Labor government?
Well, you're hearing conflicting messages about the detail. It's 2 paragraphs in a 7-page document. It's really too serious an issue to be dealt with in 2 paragraphs. The system that Julia Gillard had set up previously and that was committed to us...
I'm sorry to jump in, but time is really short. My question went to whether you actually plan to start a campaign now in opposition to this suggestion.
We're certainly going to start a campaign to educate people about what is wrong with these 2 initiatives that Julia Gillard has signed on to.
All right. Well, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks so much for your time.
A pleasure.
Anthony Ball there from Clubs Australia. So we can imagine a similar kind of information campaign, I guess, to the one, or opposition campaign, really, to the one that was launched by the mining company, say, against the tax.
I think that's a fair bet.